It's time for you to take a leap. And I know that right now it might feel to you like you are leaping into thin air with no sense of where you may land. But what I'm seeing is you're not leaping into thin air. You are actually jumping the broom. My name is Amissa. If you're new here, welcome. It's good to be with you. I have a message for you. It is a message about love, but it's not a message about romance. It is a message about how love is catalyzing you as you cross this next threshold in your own life. And this is why the image of jumping the broom is coming up for me right now. Please take what resonates in this message. Please trust your own discernment. I am sending out the intention that this message is met and received by those who are meant to meet and receive it for the greatest, highest good, for your greatest, highest good, and for the greatest, highest good of the collective, because your good and the good of the whole are not separate, they are interdependent. And only you know if this is for you. So please check in, please listen. I will say that I have a pretty small channel right now. So if you're seeing this, uh, it's pretty likely that it's meant for you to receive in some way, even if it's just a piece of what I have to share. The algorithm isn't really pushing me like crazy just yet. So if you found me, you are actually kind of here on the ground floor for whatever this channel is going to become. Let's get back to this message. Let's get back to this image I see of you jumping the broom. If you are unfamiliar with that tradition, jumping the broom is a tradition that takes place at weddings. It is a Black wedding tradition. There are some historians who will date this tradition back to the Ashanti or Akan peoples of Ghana. And there is a sort of cultural retention that we can trace to enslaved Africans who were brought here to the US and their descendants who have retained this tradition of jumping the broom at the end of a wedding ceremony to signal that a couple is crossing. Sometimes when the energy is moving really quickly, my words get a little mixed up, so forgive me. To signal that a couple is crossing the threshold into this new phase, that they are initiating themselves into union. And they are doing so witnessed by, of course, loved ones, family, community. And the broom, I think, is a really significant image. Maybe you have been noticing an urge lately to sweep your floors more frequently. If you have, I think that might be a sign that this message is for you. And if you haven't, it's maybe something to consider. Sweeping is a tradition in African and Black American spirituality that is really energetically important to clear away energies that are stagnant or old or no longer necessary. And so the broom, as the symbol of that, and the jumping over that to cross into a new phase of life, to be initiated into union in a new way, is really significant. I channeled this message this morning. I got the image of jumping the broom. And this is a time where spirit is asking you to trust that what feels like a leap into the unknown, what feels like a leap into thin air, is actually just a rite of your passage, a ceremonial jump, if you will. And It's a jump symbolized by this tradition that we practice in wedding ceremonies because you have done the deep, deep work of returning to self love. And what I saw was you walking down the aisle to meet you. um, you walking yourself down the aisle to meet yourself, and the self that you are meeting, that you have met at the altar, that you are in union with, and jumping the broom to initiate yourself into a new phase of union with. It is the you that is living out your highest authenticity. It is the you that is living out your liberation timeline. And the you that lives out that liberation timeline is a necessary part of our collective liberation timeline. I'm hearing a siren in the background right now outside, and I often receive that as like confirmation. Pay attention to what's coming through right now. Your liberation is our liberation. We can't be free if you are not free, just like you are not free if we are not free. And so this is a moment where those of us who are aligned with and resonating with this particular frequency and this particular expression of what it is that love is really wanting to do through us as humans right now to initiate us into a new phase of our existence on this planet. This requires you, this requires each of us who are on this path to be willing to take this leap into a deeper phase of union and commitment with our authenticity, with our highest possible reality. And the recognition that that highest possible timeline, that liberation timeline, is a necessary part of our collective liberation timeline. So we need you jumping this broom. We need you committing to union with yourself. It's almost like you can think about all of your past selves, all of the versions and iterations of self that you have lived through, all of the experiences that you've lived through and learned from and healed through, all of the layers of reintegration that you have committed to rediscovering in your practice of loving yourself. All of those versions are standing all around you, walking you down the aisle to meet this highest timeline, liberation timeline, full authenticity version of you. You might have been feeling this of late, this sense of anticipation, this sense that you are moving towards something, walking towards something, even if you're not quite sure what it is, even if you can't quite see it, you could sense how close you were getting, that you could actually reach out and touch this version of you and your reality, that you could hear it breathing and feel its heart beating. You were getting that close. And now it's time for you and this version of you to commit to each other. It's time for you to jump the broom with you. There's this this quote by Eartha Kitt that is coming through for me right now. And I think maybe this is meant for someone. She says, I love myself and I want someone to share that love with me. And my stomach just growled. Maybe you heard that. I have to eat after I get this message out, but I wanted to make sure that I got it out before I went on with my day. It felt that important to share. This quote, I love myself and I want someone to share that love with me. There's a version of you who might have heard that quote in the past and immediately thought about that someone being outside of you, that someone being a potential romantic partner. And this is not to say that romantic partnership is not for you, that it's not present for you, that it's not available for you. Um, but if this message is resonating for you, you are likely recognizing that this sentiment now about loving yourself and wanting someone to share that love with you, it doesn't actually have to do with anyone outside of you. It's actually about you, all of the versions of you, loving you, that there's another siren. I hope everyone is okay. There's another way that this is now felt by you where it's you recognizing that there's no part of you that you can't meet with love, that there's no part of you that you have exiled, and there's no part of you that is separate from the practice of unifying with you in love. That's being in your integrity. That's being integrated. That's being whole. And so the love that you get to share with you now is you getting to share in this love with the version of you that you are expanding and growing into at this time. It's you getting to share love with the you that has walked you down the aisle to meet you, you getting to share love with the you whose hand you are holding as you jump the broom into this new reality. It's you getting to share love with the you that exists on this liberation timeline, which is our shared collective liberation timeline. It's not even that you have to leap and hope that the net will appear. The ground is actually already there. The ground is already there to meet you. And the leap, of course, can feel really scary. And we don't want to bypass that. We want to feel the discomfort of that and process the emotions that come up with the discomfort around that, meet those with love. And in so doing, we strengthen our resolve and commitment to ourselves. And it makes the jump feel, if not less scary, then at least more supported. You have more, um, I don't know, harnesses is what I'm hearing. Is that what I mean? Um, yeah, you have more like of your own protective gears and support around you, holding you as you make the jump. You are more securely holding your own hand as you make the jump. And the ground on the other side of the broom is, when I see it, The image is really lush earth, really green, really fertile earth. And the branches of the trees are reaching out to embrace you on the other side of this jump. The branches of the trees are actually opening up to gather you and welcome you to this new reality. Have you hugged a tree lately? Have you hugged a tree lately? You might want to hug a tree. That's coming through now for someone. If hugging trees is a part of your regular practice, I think spirit is saying trust that. And if you haven't hugged a tree lately, might I suggest that you do so? The trees really want to embrace you right now. Sometimes we think about um, whether it's hugging trees or connecting with nature and the elements in any way, sometimes we think about it as what it is that we want or need to receive. And what's coming through right now is the remembrance that on the flip side of that, the earth really wants to receive you. The trees really want to hug you. You might love gazing at the water, but the water also really loves gazing at you. You might love lifting your head up to the sky, and the sky really loves gazing down at you. And so, whatever it is, whether it's hugging a tree or not, however it is that you connect with the earth, with the elements, um, trust that on the other side of this leap, there is earth to meet you. And it's not just any earth, it's earth that is lush, and it's also earth that is excited to receive you, welcoming you with open arms, waiting for you, in fact. The timeline that you are grounding into on the other side of jumping this broom is is so full of love for you. The reality that's there on the other side of this leap loves you so much and is so ready to welcome you. Your own journey of loving yourself, walking yourself down the aisle to meet you, is leading you to this moment where the leap of faith is actually a leap of commitment. It's a leap of devotion to the you that you are becoming, the liberation timeline that you're living into, and how that liberation timeline is interwoven, is what I'm hearing, is interwoven with our collective liberation. So don't be afraid to take the leap, whatever that looks like for you at this time. And I know it's a really intense time energetically right now. Trust me, I am feeling it. I'm feeling it. Um, it's intense, right? There's a lot that's asking to be shed. There's a lot that is coming up in ways that might feel surprising or even shocking to be faced and cleared. There's a lot that's coming in that might feel really um, unanticipated by your conscious mind, by your ego. Trust that in all of that, even if your conscious awareness cannot quite make sense of it, on a soul level, you know, on a soul level, you can trust whatever the change is, whatever this leap looks like for you. You are not being forced, and I'm hearing you're not being tested. You are being given an opportunity to feel flight, to feel what it feels like to fly, and to trust that your landing is meant to be soft and meant to be lush and meant to be supportive, welcoming. You are learning that deeper devotion and commitment to the you that you are here to be, is where your highest timeline resides. Your liberation timeline lives on the ground where the most authentic version of you is standing, where you and you are in union, where all parts of you are holding hands and saying, here we are in full, integrated, whole. And if you're feeling nervous about this, I'm hearing that there's some fear or concern that taking this leap and taking this leap, jumping to this new timeline where you are devoted and committed to you, where you are choosing to initiate yourself into love with yourself, that your reality then gets to share with you, there is a fear or a concern that um, you will be leaving people behind. There's a fear or a concern that you will be alone if you choose to commit to yourself. And I know that that fear can feel really intense. And I'm certainly not here to negate that or to gaslight you out of it. What I'm hearing is that there are people, actual living, breathing human beings. There are people who are ready to receive you on the other side of this leap. Just like the earth, the land itself, the trees are opening their arms to embrace you. There are people, and oh, this feels this feels really heavy. This feels really intense. Um, I can feel that this is a really deep old pain that you might be carrying around, feeling like you being you pushes you out of belonging, that you choosing your authenticity and your liberation means that you will be alone. Here's what spirit is saying, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you, okay? When you are a person who is devoted to your authenticity, when you are a person who commits to walking yourself down the aisle to meet yourself, to choose union with yourself and devotion to your authenticity, and your liberation within your own being, I'm not going to lie to you. It does actually narrow the pool of who's actually able to meet you in that place in like a human to human relational way. Because there are a lot of people who have not yet contacted their own capacity and commitment to that process within themselves. And I don't actually think that is the fault of those folks. I think we have existed in a shared conventional reality that um, mm, that that actually required us to be out of contact with ourselves. That actually required us to be out of contact with our own authenticity. That needed us to avoid making contact with ourselves, right? In order to maintain that old reality. And there are a lot of folks who are still existing under that spell, even as that spell is breaking. You feel that, you know that. You are a person that we might call a front runner, a person who is feeling into our new and true shared liberation timeline already in your own body and already taking the leap toward that. Not everyone is there yet. And so the fear that you feel that people won't be there, I'm not going to discount that because you're not wrong. There are fewer people who have crossed those thresholds within themselves already at this point. I believe that collectively as humans, we are in that process. We are in the process of that old conventional reality getting so destabilized as it crumbles that more and more and more people who used to be able to avoid themselves, who used to be able to not feel themselves, are finding that they now have no choice but to meet themselves. They now have no choice but to face truths that they have previously been able to avoid because the structure that was upholding that ability to avoid all of that is crumbling, right? So we are all in that process together, and you are arriving in territory that not everyone has met yet. That is true. There have been times along the way for you where that has probably felt lonely. There is a part of you that fears oh, there's an image that's coming up for me right now. This is go with me. It's kind of a strange image, but maybe it will resonate for you. I'm seeing the image of a car, and you are driving, and there are people in the car, and the car was on the ground, but it then starts to lift off and take flight. And as the car lifts off and takes flight, the other people in the car with you are like, ooh, I don't know about this. I think maybe I need to go back down a level. I need to go back down to the ground. I'm not ready to rise this high this quickly. And so some of those people are falling away. You are not abandoning the car just because it's rising a little bit higher than you've ever been before. And that car is going to land. It is going to land somewhere solid again, but not where it was before. It's like this jump, this leap, it's not taking you just up and down and back down to the same ground. It's taking you up, and then you're landing on ground that is higher. There are people who are there. When you are the kind of person you are who carries the kind of energetic signature that you carry when you're here to be, if you were here for my previous video, this language came through about you being a liberator. When you are here to be a liberator, to be a front runner in that way, one of the greatest fears, this is what I'm hearing, one of the greatest fears that can hold you back from being that which you're here to be, is the fear that you will be alone. And what spirit really wants to drive home for you is that you will not be alone. There will be people. There are fewer people there, but in that, the capacity for connection, the capacity for intimacy, the compassion, compassion, the compassion that's there, and capacity. I love that my brain put capacity and compassion together into compassion. I think that's hilarious. um, the capacity that is available for you in the connections that are present on this liberation timeline is going to be so much deeper than whatever connections you might have felt you had to hold on to on that previous timeline. And again, this is not judgment. This is not you are better than or higher than anyone else. We are all in this same process of co-liberating. We're co-creating and co-liberating. You have a particular role to play in that. Your devotion and commitment to yourself is your devotion and commitment to that role. Even when you have to take the leap, not knowing who is there on the other side to meet you, trust that people will be there. Trust that there may be fewer people there, but the people who are there are waiting for you. You won't find them if you're too afraid of taking the leap. You are holding your own hand. You are not alone. You are held so deeply as you take the leap. And the other thing that Spirit is saying to me is that as that old conventional timeline crumbles, as it destabilizes and disintegrates, more people are going to start taking that leap because they will have to. You're taking it now because you have to, because of what your own internal orientation is telling you. There are other folks who will not take that leap until their external reality tells them that they have no choice but to take that leap. But eventually, more and more people are going to be there. It's not going to be this small of a group of people forever. But right now, there's something that you are meant to create with those folks who are waiting to meet you in that new reality so that there will be a tangible material reality for those folks who are making that leap a little bit later. And that can't happen if you don't jump this broom. This message is getting long, so I'm just checking in to see if there's anything else that wants to come through. There's a song by Cleo Soul. Um, I think the title is Fear When You Fly. And the chorus is feel the fear when you fly, feel the fear when you fly high. You've got to learn to let go and feel the fear when you fly, feel the fear when you fly high. I would maybe listen to that song. Her music in general, her music in general, I think if you are not familiar, I would say check out Cleo Soul's music. Um, that it will be quite supportive for you at this time as you're navigating this jump, but this song in particular. And it actually just so happens, I know I sound like I'm like promoting her or something. I'm not. This is not sponsored content, but she also happens to have a new album coming out later this month. And um, I have found that she is an artist who is um, really aligned with like collective timeline jumps. And she tends to release music right at that moment when those of us who are taking a leap are in need of what's the word? It's this gesture, right, of being held. Her music, I think, really holds us as we are jumping. So, listen to that song, Fear When You Fly. Listen to Cleo Soul. Um, hold yourself gently and tenderly. Allow yourself to be held by you and all the versions of you. And hold your own hand as you leap into this reality that is so excited to meet you and to hold you. Enjoy jumping the broom. I love you so much, and we'll talk soon.